What is up, everybody, and welcome to this Wednesday night of the Tornadoes and regularly scheduled hostilities with your host, Chuck Winchester, with your host, Yvonne DeBoard, who is not representing any kind of wrestling on a strictly wrestling podcast.
I'll just stick with plain red.
Unbelievable. I mean, is there a red wrestler? I guess technically when Lita first debuted in WWE, she wore all red. If you guys remember, back with S.A. Rios. So
I'm taking after.
There you go. And then still with us, I know it's ridiculous, guys, right? It's like 900 days or some shit. The retaining RSH Champion of the world, Josh.
And now I get
the board
63 days off.
Hey, man, you've earned it.
You have earned it. We'll give you that.
Just so you guys know, we got this customized RSH belts. I got my some twang in there. It's coming out a little bit. So long ago. And the only person to ever hold that RSH customized belts, despite the money in the bank, despite several opportunities, is Josh DeBoard. And it's just, I think he's cheating. I mean, I'm going to keep saying it. It's not
That's
true,
one thing,
but I'm going to keep saying it.
That's what we say all the time. It's one thing we can agree on. No.
Thank you, Bianca.
You know.
No.
But
Thanks
yes.
a lot, Becky.
It is the Wednesday night regularly scheduled hostilities. And just so you guys know, the tornado sirens just turned off. So if we bounce randomly, it's because they've came back on. So
there's my new poster I made this week. Yep.
And it is. That's the next pay-per-view in just a couple of weeks. Money in the Bank. It's going to be Chuck Winchester in the flesh versus Yvonne DeBoard in the flesh. And last year, it was the same lineup. And last year, I came up just a little bit short. But just so you know, Yvonne DeBoard,
you're not going to be short this time.
I'm not going to be short this time.
Coming.
I'm coming in. I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in cold. And I'm going to read, for the very first time ever, I'm going to read the dirt sheets. And I'm going to have an advantage. I'm not going to, because my gut has failed me like it always does.
Mine too.
And so I'm coming in hot, just so you know.
Yep.
I'm taking that Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm taking that Money in the briefcase all the way to WrestleMania. I'm going to cash in at WrestleMania 2023, just so you're all aware of the future of RSH and where we're heading. It's going to be Chuck Winchester winning that briefcase.
See, huh?
Yeah, we will see.
That's all we can say, huh?
I ain't scared.
Well, I know you're not.
Yeah, that'll be
I think with my gut, too, and see how
July
it's got me.
30th.
July 30th.
SummerSlam.
That's cool, man. So we're going to be in Las Vegas for Money in the Bank. And then where's SummerSlam being held? I mean, if we don't know, it doesn't matter. No. Is it in Nashville? Seriously?
Yeah,
Nashville?
Peters is going to it.
Oh, that's legit. I'll be in Nashville like early September, so I'm just missing it. That sucks. I'm going to go. We're going to go see Pearl Jam in September. And we were supposed to go see this concert April 2nd, 2020. You know, right when COVID happened. So we're finally going to get to go see this concert in Nashville. And apparently right before SummerSlam, so that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go to a SummerSlam. That's all we got left. We've been to a Rumble.
Yeah.
Now we got Survivor Series. We got Money in the Bank. I remember back in 2014, Money in the Bank was in Columbus, and we really missed an opportunity with that.
Nothing ever fucking comes here.
I know.
It doesn't.
Back before they took Money in the Bank seriously, it was in Columbus, Ohio. Now, all the good pay-per-views are in like in St. Louis and Las Vegas. Who wants to go to Las Vegas? This is desert and wasting money.
Right.
Like,
I agree. I've never been there. I agree.
I've never been there either, so I'm just, I don't
wasting money, that's for sure.
It is wasting money. I gamble on beer, and that's it, man. I'll take my beer money, and then I'll drink it away. I'm not going to give it to a guy in a weird fucking vest in a card game. What is this? Wild Wild West? No.
Cowboy hat. That's when I draw the line. One of those hats, I swear.
In a saloon. Anyway, we are just outside of Hell in a Cell, which lots to talk about with Hell in a Cell because, man, it's going to be one of the most memorable matches, I think, in that pay-per-view's history with a guy who was recently in AEW. So it's interesting how it all went down.
You definitely won't forget that.
There it is, man.
Poor man.
When he just take it. Give me your guys' thoughts on when he took that robe off. Like, we all knew he was injured. It was up in the air whether he was competing, and then it was confirmed he was competing. And then he came out, what were your guys' thoughts on when we took his robe off? Because that was like a big moment.
Yeah.
And it blew the internet up.
I was like, ouch. I'm sitting there holding my arm and stuff. I'm like, ouch, my jeez.
Well, I didn't think anything would overshadow Seth coming out dressed in his dad's shit.
I didn't see that coming.
That was epic, man. Like, at the Royal Rumble, he came out to Roman Reigns, the Shield
Yep.
music to screw his
That's
opponent.
Seth, man.
And then come Hell in a Cell, he does the exact
He
same
knows how to
thing.
make it personal. That's
Yeah.
Seth. That's Seth.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's
He
one of
knows how
those,
to do
what
it.
the fuck? How is he doing this moment? And then people start talking about the injury that actually had it before, and they're like, there's no fucking way he should have been able to do this.
Absolutely
It was his, he solidified when he does come back. He's going to be at the top of the fucking card for a
He
very
will.
long time.
Absolutely.
Sure. I mean, absolutely.
He's going to be their top baby face on Raw for the foreseeable future.
Man, I remember watching this and, Justin Del Rio, his group, Nerds of Wrestling podcast or the Nerds of Wrestling Facebook group, some guy in there was like, oh, that makeup's, whoever does that must be Bray Wyatt's makeup.
Oh, I seen that.
That's like, dude, if this is makeup, it would start coming off during the match.
Right.
Clearly
that's
it's
a
not
legit
makeup.
injury,
The fact
bro.
that
Yeah.
Well, they didn't really have a backup plan, especially as late as this injury happened. And the fact that he went through with it for a fucking half hour and then came out into Raw and did another fucking job to get Road off TV. Very much you can really say. I mean, you might as well. I mean, Seth beat the living fuck out of him most of the match, too.
Big time.
He took bumps to it.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, and there was a few spots where you could see, Seth taking care of him as he should.
Yeah.
Yep.
But a lot of those hits, it even with an injury like that, lifting your arm up would fucking be painful as no other. And the fact he did a 25-minute match inside of Hell in a Cell, utilizing the Hell in a Cell, kendo sticks, a fucking cowbell, like the good old days.
Yeah,
Like, first of all, I want to say, who would have thought that after they did the Bane of headshots, that the first headshot we would see outside of Triple H doing things with The Undertaker would be a cowbell to Seth Rollins' head.
It was just, the storytelling was great.
It was.
Like,
It
the
was.
pedigree.
Yeah.
I mean, Triple H had the torn pec as well. So,
He did.
And I missed.
and then the fucking sledgehammer.
Yep.
Epic.
Which is a nice,
Well,
full circle storytelling.
It really is.
Basically what that was. It's even with like the Balor and fucking Edge shit. Like you think about when he went to NXT and it's like, you're the man. He's like, you're wasted talent. He's like, you need a Edge told him, I watched a clip earlier. He's like, you need to let people, don't listen to people. Don't let them tell you what to do. Stand on, you're a fucking generational talent. What did Finn Balor do? He beat the fuck out of Edge on Raw.
He did,
It's like
yeah.
long-term
yeah, I can't wait to get to
storytelling in
that part,
WWE,
yeah.
whether it's purpose or not, is very fucking good. And Rhea and Bianca,
It's gonna be a good match.
NXT, they came up at the same fucking
Mhm.
time. They feuded the whole fucking time they're in NXT. Bianca never won the NXT women's title, but she has dominated since she's been here, and Rhea hates it. So that sets up that. I mean,
Works out good.
there's so much shit going on. There's weird shit going on, which we'll see too. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with that Cody,
it's crazy what he did.
it was nuts. I mean, 25 minutes.
I mean, I'm not a big Cody guy,
Me,
obviously,
I'm not a big fan.
but like respect was earned, and now I am
Absolutely.
going to be rooting for him when he gets back.
I am a
Agreed.
Cody guy now.
I agree too.
I wasn't in AEW, but he's done such a good job in WWE. I root for the guy.
He couldn't have been booked any better.
Right.
I mean,
There's no way he could have been booked better. He's been booked perfect since he's been back.
And I like how he was like 3 times.
Respect
Just,
is well earned.
I think
for him
so.
in this
Seth Rollins is the most valuable wrestler WWE has.
Oh, absolutely.
Even more than Roman.
I can't argue that at all.
You can't bring in somebody like Cody and have him go over Roman Reigns. People fucking flip. Seth though,
Seth makes it look good.
Seth lost 3 times.
He
Seth,
did.
Seth came out of this as a bigger fucking star than he went into it.
That's the thing. Like,
Especially with the jumping him. Now he's got heat. Now he's going to fucking do what he wants to fuck. I think Seth's winning Money in the Bank.
I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
I think
Yeah,
Seth's
I
gonna
think
win
he
Money
is
in
The
the
too.
fact is, Seth's been around since 2012 on
I think this is going to be
WWE
Seth's
television.
reward.
And he could come out this coming Monday night and like nothing ever happened.
I think
You know.
Seth or Theory should be the 2 favorites for Money in the Bank.
Seth, fuck Theory. I want Seth.
We'll get to Theory here in a
Vince would
minute.
love if
because
he won the
his summer-
briefcase. Oh,
Because
goodness.
Theory's SummerSlam plans are seem to be coming to fruition.
Wait a minute with
But yeah, kudos to Cody. Hell of a
Absolutely.
match. It was the best out of the 3, I thought.
And, like,
Fighting
and you
through the
mentioned it
injury.
was storytelling. So, like, I mean, there was all kinds of the Dusty Rhodes
stuff. 'Cause
Yeah,
Dusty was a big Seth guy.
sure.
Yeah, he was.
He was
that
Seth's
one.
biggest supporter in NXT back when it was fucking FCW and the Shield and the Wyatts were down there. And
Yep.
it's like when people watch NXT 2.0 now and they just look at the people, it's like, just wait about a year or two. Because those are going to be the people making up your main card.
Could be.
Braun Breaker, Joe Gacy, Mandy Rose. Apollo just went back.
I
down
saw-
there.
I
Which
saw
is great.
Apollo went there.
It's probably really good for him that he goes
Very
down
good.
there, gets his shit back together, and then comes back up. Like, it's worked out for Mandy so far.
So I'm not sure why she didn't work out on the main roster to
Wow.
begin. Well, I know why they put her with Otis for some reason, but
then
like
they
Exactly.
before that,
I
she
agree
was
with
Well,
good.
they did fucking Dana Brooke. She's in the
She's with
sexy
Sonya.
muscle. Like she
She's
needed to
tagging
get her
with Sonya.
footing back, and she couldn't wrestle or shit.
She's
Sorry.
she's not there for wrestling.
She's doing a lot better than
She's
NXT.
much better in the ring.
Very.
than She was.
Yeah,
But-
she's good.
She's running the
Cody-
division down there.
Never thought I'd see the day Cody makes the headline for the episode, and he makes the fucking album art. for it.
Kudos
And
to Cody.
I'm excited for her to come back in 4 to 6 months, or
Me
whatever
too.
it
We'll
is.
see you at the
So,
Rumble when
yeah,
you
buddy.
inevitably get thrown out by The Rock.
Yep.
And then The Rock goes heel, then Roman's a huge baby face because that's what they're going to try to do at WrestleMania.
Or it'll be like when Daniel Bryan came back and Reigns threw him out, and they kept Reigns babyface, but he still got booed. Will it be
We'll
that?
see if The Rock can deal with it, but I know they want to.
Yeah,
Roman's got 2 belts.
I mean, sure. And,
The Royal Rumble winner gets an automatic title shot. So if they're doing Rock and Roman at Mania, how do you get there without
No.
The Rock winning the Rumble?
the 2 belts, you're absolutely correct.
Because like Roman's not going to lose a fucking match or a
Yeah.
belt until then, unless they just unify. Even if they unified into one belt,
Same
it's
thing.
still going to be The Rock. So The Rock's
Right.
my pick for the Rumble.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I never thought I'd hear you say that.
But
You
I mean,
can't-
It's obvious.
It really
as fuck at
has
this
to
point.
be.
it is.
Because
How
it's
do you
one
get to
belt.
that match?
Because it's one belt, it has to be. Either he wins the Rumble or they insert him another way, but the Rumble winner is still there. So if it was 2 belts, I'd be like, well, so-and-so will win the Rumble, and they'll just insert The Rock another way.
I mean,
But they can't do that this time because it's 2 belts. So it's one belt.
sports. Thank God, sports betting in Ohio is legal because right now Cody Rhodes is the favorite, Braun Breaker's 2, and The Rock's 3rd.
No, that's going to be The Rock.
I put $100 on The Rock easy.
Because
Bruce Ford says 5th.
because it's the undisputed title now, it has to be The
I
Rock.
get the
Gotta be
Braun
The
Breaker
Rock
and
now.
Cody reasoning, but it's
It's going to be The Rock. It's
If it was,
pretty obvious.
if by January they decide to split the belts again, and then sure, it could be somebody else. But if it's still one belt come Rumble, it's The Rock.
I think that Seth and Cody fight at Mania for the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think Cody takes that from Seth,
I'd be cool with that life.
and
That'd
then
be cool,
Cody
too.
cashes in.
That's after WrestleMania.
at some point after WrestleMania.
Right.
Then Cody can win the belt. Roman had his shit with The Rock, and then you have Cody and Roman where you can take that and go.
They're
See that?
clearly doing Rock and Reigns at WrestleMania this year. They've been putting it up for 2 years because of COVID.
Yeah,
It's clearly
they were
happening.
waiting for Hollywood.
Yep. And they're keeping the belt on Reigns for 3 years because of it.
The Rock's
So-
not doing any more movies right now. That's what they
But
said. So.
speaking of Hollywood, John Cena.
Oh God.
20
June
years.
27th is actually the 20-year
I was so
anniversary of his
thrilled about
debut.
this.
We just did Orton. Now we're doing
So
Cena.
John Cena is returning to Raw.
Oh, wonderful.
Is it going to be the Summer of Cena again, or is this
Yeah.
a one-off?
And look, he's going to be around after SummerSlam. And the report is him and Theory is pretty much locked in for
Well,
SummerSlam.
that'd be a good match.
They did a TikTok video after Raw where they asked Cena, who's your favorite superstar right now? He said Theory. He said, who needs an attitude adjustment? He said, oh, Theory.
Shoot.
And Theory was like split screen watching it because you can do TikTok like that.
Sure.
So
Uh-oh.
my guess is Cena saves Edge. They do some kind of tag match. And maybe Money in the Bank. It's that because Edge doesn't have any allies. You like Priest and Balor gets Edge and Cena. Theory cost them that match or fucks Cena over, which
Yeah.
sets up that. Or Theory beats the shit out of him on this this Monday.
He comes out and
I
attacks
think-
Cena or something.
Theory Cena for the U.S. title is going to be at SummerSlam.
It seemed like there for a minute they're going to set up another Cena Edge feud because
were
Edge was
close.
talking shit about Cena,
Now
and then they
that's-
randomly turned Edge face again.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the Cody news.
Sure, I mean
Right,
that
later
changes.
on.
It changes
Yeah,
shit. It's just funny how you can see how
I
things
think-
were set up,
I
and
think
then
Cena
things
Edge
change.
is a Mania.
It's a moneymaker,
I
man.
think that's a Mania match for next year.
That's a moneymaker match because I mean
Absolutely.
that's pure nostalgia.
Well, I think they can do that at Mania next year. It gives them both something to do.
Yes.
I think Demon and Edge,
Edge can go crazy.
Demon
too.
and Brood Edge at fucking
Oh,
SummerSlam
God,
will
that'd
probably
be
be
such a great-
what we get out of that.
Brood Edge.
I know you guys don't think this is funny, but I thought it was hilarious when I saw on Facebook the other day when they said, like just yesterday, when they said WWE turned Edge back to face, and I said, "Oh, So I guess we did know him after all.
Yeah, they're gonna have to edit that music.
It made me laugh.
Yeah.
My dad jokes, you know.
That's
Let's see. Cena in Theory, Balor and or Demon and Edge,
probably see the Demon. We haven't seen him in a long
Roman
time.
and Orton. I mean, that's pretty much what we're probably looking at for SummerSlam this year. It looks like Riddle's going to call out Roman tomorrow or Friday.
Tribal trash. That's what he
So
keeps
you're probably
calling
going to get Money in the Bank Riddle. And we already know the Drew plan. So
We know.
an interesting summer. I mean, the title's not going anywhere.
No, not at all.
But I guess Money in the Bank, the only disappointing thing is like the Money in the Bank matches herself are really the only thing worth looking forward to.
Right now, yeah.
Well, you
At
know,
this point, because I mean, Theory's going to probably go over Cena unless they fucking completely throw us off. But Cena's schedule is calm, they said right now, and so is The Rock. Cena ain't got another movie filming this year.
well, the Rock's gonna be start training for the ring,
Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
and you know, I'm cool with Reigns being off TV because what's the point of him being on TV if he's not dropping the title to WrestleMania?
Right.
So I'm cool with him being gone and giving another.
no,
Time slots, time to shine.
It makes his appearances more important too.
It makes the shows more entertaining, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because you know we got 20 minutes cut from his entrance, and then we have another 20-minute cuts of the same Heyman speech, and then the same 10 minutes of Reigns' speech. I mean, we don't need any of that if we have to
Acknowledge
keep
him.
seeing it until WrestleMania. So I'm cool with him being gone and giving other guys time to shine, and maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, giving the IC title, the US title, Kevin Owens, Ezekiel, not Elias, they're different people, time to shine a little bit. And yeah, that's what I'm interested in to see. You know, these guys kind of finally get their time to take off, because we have the 20 minutes of Reigns' entrance, the 20 minutes of Heyman's speech, and the 10 minutes of Reigns' speech off TV.
I agree.
So I'm cool with that live.
Gives more talent, other talent, time to shine. It really does.
Yeah, so that's what the poster currently looks like.
Brock's on it. Ew.
Roman should be there. Brock's TBD.
Charlotte's on it.
Rousey and Natalia is probably going to happen there because Natalia's a number one contender.
Charlotte's not even around.
Lashley in Theory probably happens there.
Is that seriously WWE's picture? That looks like
Well,
not good.
I think it's been altered.
Roman's
but it
not
looks
even
like
going to
shit
be
because
there.
I didn't get a good.
I hope Brock won't be
Google
there.
doesn't have a lot of good images.
Charlotte's not even going to be
and I'm
there.
sure Sasha's not going to be on the main poster.
It looks like Sasha's there. It looks like WWE's like video game, like WB 2K picture. I guess I don't know. I thought it looked
Right.
not very good for a big pay-per-view in Las Vegas.
Like I say, it could be open. Google doesn't have a lot.
Sure,
Of,
I got
I
you.
hope
Good
the
fucking-
poster's better.
Yeah.
And
Shit
Brock's
right
not
now.
on it.
No. Brock's last run was fine.
Oh yeah, Brock's fine. His last run was good.
Let's go to the highlight of outside of Cody.
That match I did not see.
Probably the best match
It was a good
outside of
match.
Cody.
It kicked off the pay-per-view.
I was on the road when that match was on.
Becky had the upper hand most of it,
She did.
and then she lost.
That was my look at the end of the night.
I like that order. That was
That was the look at my face
She
at the end of the
lost.
night, too. Thanks a lot.
And,
That's her face.
I knew after the first match, I wasn't defending again until SummerSlam. So
Thanks a lot, Becky.
Did I pick Bianca?
yeah,
That was
You
when we
did.
tied,
You
probably.
did.
we did.
Nah,
You guys did.
lame.
We've had a lot, but you didn't get the briefcase.
I mean, hey, tie goes the champion. I get it.
But yeah, that was a very good match. Bianca winning. I mean, Bianca versus Becky's most likely going to be fucking SummerSlam. It looks like as well. I don't know why I have Judgment Day shit mixed in with Madcap and Corbin. Hold on.
Wait.
Remember that was a pay-per-view and not a group?
I know, that's what I'm like. Ain't that a pay-per-view? Yep.
And that's one thing I didn't even see any spoilers on, or I didn't hear anything about them at Hell in a Cell, but I just assumed that Judgment Day won.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
You had them.
I saw the very end of this, and
It
it
was
was
good.
pretty good.
Good match.
So Madcap's going to be a superstar.
Absolutely, he does.
I liked his new look. He was one guy I wasn't high on, and it was because of his look.
Yeah, so
Yeah, me too.
We need a new name, I think. I think Madcap's kind of a lame name, but
Change it to somebody else.
he
Or
has
just-
the look.
Or just call him Moss. Just take Mac.
I thought Moss was better than Madcap because we get rid of Moss instead of
That's what
Madcap.
they did with Theories,
Yeah,
and they
he
took
beat the
Alston
living-
and his left Theory.
I thought Moss would have been better than Madcap.
Yeah.
beat the living fuck out of Corbin.
Oh, he did.
And then took
God.
the still steps to the chair, which seemingly will give Corbin a little bit of time off.
There was no rules in this match.
I think
but he
he's a
did.
dark horse. I think he'll be in Money in the Bank. I think he's a dark horse to possibly win it. I think he'll have a good showing, but not win it.
No, exactly. That's why I feel.
I think he's got an extremely bright future. Though.
He has to prove himself. But I think maybe this time next year he could be a contender for one.
He's going to look good in the match.
I'm interested to see where they go. I want him to be the one that calls through the belt in England, though.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Get massive. But I think he might work better as a face.
Madcap? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's
Especially
a face.
coming off this, so I don't want him. I don't know if fucking up Drew would do anything.
I mean, I don't want to like get ahead of myself because I was never big on him until now.
I wasn't either.
But if everything goes correctly, he could accidentally become like the next John Cena. You know what I mean?
I said they could have their cornerstones in
Like if
Theory and Madcap already.
yeah,
And you got Braun Breaker. You got, I mean, Rhea's young as fuck. Bianca's super fuck. They're both in their lower 20s. Like Bianca's 24. Rhea's 23.
sure.
So like they're fucking super young.
Still young.
So like their cornerstones are still all in place.
And it's like if you remember how like John Cena didn't really get over in his initial run, and then he accidentally got over later. This could be Madcap. I mean, if they let him use his talents to get like
It was
look at
actually
it.
a pretty good match.
It was.
It was a good match.
The part that I saw, it was really good. So like, I mean,
Guys, revenge on Corbin.
he has a look in my opinion. He obviously
He's got
has the mic
everything. Paul
skills.
Heyman even came out and was like, if you guys don't think, somebody on Twitter was talking shit about
Of
his
course.
gimmick.
Of course.
Heyman said, if you don't think Madcap Moss is going to be a bona fide superstar in the future, you're a fucking idiot. And I
Look
think
at
that was
him.
his exact tweet. So,
Yep. I mean, again, I was never really high on the guy because his look was stupid, like suspenders. I'm very biased.
And
when it
he
comes
was
to
so
look.
silly all the time.
Yeah, like, that shit was dumb. But
Sometimes you gotta be serious.
but look at him
somewhere.
now. I mean, it's like John Cena. He looked silly too. And then he became a rapper and got popular. Same guy.
Oh, poor Styles. This is
Now-
devastating. Well, at least he didn't get
we'll talk about what happened here later. But I do think it's funny. Edge speared Balor and pinned him,
They did.
and they won.
I wish it would have been lit.
And now Edge is out. But I do find it funny that Balor is now in Edge's spot, and that's all NXT people.
Yeah, they did.
Well, let's talk about that. So, for those of you who did not watch Raw, as myself, but I do know what happened. Apparently, Finn Balor joined Judgment Day. They took him in, and then they all turned on Edge, beat the shit out of him, choked him in the ring, like Muhammad Hassan style, and then now Finn Balor is the leader, and Edge is no longer the leader.
AJ Styles tweeted out earlier a clip of the video of what happened Monday and just said,
So where does that leave AJ Styles?
He was out Monday because he's still. That's why he didn't take the pin.
That's fair.
So
So do we really think they should have fucking lifted the pin then? But do we really think that AJ Styles will join Edge after what Edge did to AJ Styles before and during WrestleMania?
Probably not.
Because that wouldn't make any sense in my opinion.
It would.
So I
But
think
I do expect Edge to recruit.
sure.
Edge doesn't recruit people.
And then one thing I heard too about this is one reason that true or not, I have no idea. It's on Facebook, so who knows? But I saw that Edge had a disagreement with Vince about the supernatural abilities of this group, and Edge was like, "That's silly. I don't want to do that." And so now this group may have supernatural abilities going forward without Edge.
I read earlier that they're putting out fake shit to try to get buzz around
Of
this group.
course. they are.
That could very well
That
could be.
Vince and them are leaking like little things.
Just as they do
creative don't
sometimes.
know why they're doing it, but they are.
Sure, and that
Because
happens.
they want to get a lot of buzz around this group because Cody gone, I mean, that hurts them.
And that's fair. And that's why a lot of people.
Notice they did, well, you didn't see it, but they did the countdown for them
They did.
that they normally do for Cody.
Is that
Like,
right?
New member at 10 o'clock.
They did.
Oh, that's cool.
So like they're using, it's been working. So they're trying to get a lot of buzz behind this group, which is probably why that happened.
And it's better, in my opinion. I remember last week I talked a lot of shit. I did not like this group, Judgment Day. I thought it was
There's
stupid.
a rumor that Edge is going to bring Gangrel and his
Oh,
wife
right.
into this.
Oh,
I think Gangrel was just on like AEW recently,
It was a one-off.
and he's a porn star.
and
So
that makes sense too.
I mean,
That makes sense.
I mean, it would make sense, like if you're going back 20
so
years.
is
but-
Paige, but she's still there.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just saying, I did not like Judgment Day. I did not like the way it looked. I thought it was silly, in my opinion. So the fact that Edge is now out and Finn Balor is in,
I think
it makes it better.
I do
It
think
does.
Styles somehow comes around to joining Edge.
I do
Because
too.
What else is he going to do right now
Well,
anyway?
they better do it on TV, though, because if it just happens to be a thing, I'll be aggravated.
I think it'll be a gradual, like Edge got his ass beat.
Kind of like Triple H and Shawn Michaels coming back.
He comes backstage, and I was like, well, it shouldn't have been a dick. Then,
You know
well,
what I
then
mean?
eventually,
He made it personal.
Balor,
Going
Priest
after
fuck
his
with
kids and
AJ to
family.
where he gets involved, and they just inevitably have to team up.
So maybe like Edge saves AJ and AJ's like still fuck you a little bit, and then they kind
It's
of
like when Edge comes back, he's gonna be backstage. Styles will like, you shouldn't have ran your mouth, bro. You got what you deserved. And then Styles is gonna feel bad for him. And they're gonna slowly come together.
Liv is not going to be part of this no more.
Gosh,
Reports
that's the
are
worst
her
part of it.
and Alexa are going to be a tag team.
well, that's silly too.
So
Maybe Alexa Bliss can help you because you need help big time.
Rhea's going straight for the title. Balor
Sure.
is going to lead that going forward and
Yeah,
see what happens.
Yeah.
He gives them all direction. Like I've been cool with how Priest has been booked this whole time.
God, yeah.
Yeah, Priest is good. Yep, I agree with
has
that.
been booked
And
really
Rhea,
fucking well
she's
since
an
they called up.
absolute monster.
Priest has been booked stronger on Raw than he was in NXT.
And Rhea Ripley's away from the women's tag team crap that she shouldn't have been involved to begin with.
Yeah, so she's going to.
Going toward the title picture.
I mean, she's not going to win, but
No.
she's in it.
She's gonna look.
Well, another title was defended, and it was a good match. And I'm glad Ali got to have his moment in front of his home people.
Sorry that he lost.
But
we knew that.
I mean, he got a hell of a reaction. His gear was pretty cool. He got to rep the black and red for very good match, which we knew would be a good match between these two. The Theory won, and Theory seems to probably be on his way to either being in Money in the Bank and then fighting John Cena, or fighting Bobby Lashley
Yeah,
and
he
then
had
fighting
words.
John Cena.
He had words with Lashley. He said, "You
He
didn't."
called out Lashley Monday.
Yep.
So, or he interrupted him.
He said,
Cut a promo that made no sense,
Yeah.
and then
He said.
got kicked out of the ring.
He said
so-
he listed off people that Bobby Lashley's beat. He's
He
like,
said, "You beat Brock Lesnar, you beat Drew
Yep.
McIntyre, you beat
What else did he say?
all these people,
Yep.
but you still don't deserve to face me." And it's like, what?
He's like, "You
But-
haven't beat me."
Theory's beat like nobody. Anyway, Good
for
match.
Theory, it was.
that was pretty cool. The crowd was fucking way behind Ali. No fucking CM Punk chance, thank God. And,
Yeah, that
They're in
shit.
Chicago, yeah.
I mean, that gets annoying. I mean,
It does.
it's been how many
I
years?
do like the meme of like Cody Rhodes with a torn pec. It shows him like in a Hell in a Cell match. And Punk with a broken foot. It shows him like teared up on the bottom of the screen,
Yeah.
crying on Rampage.
he was.
It's
He
like-
was crying.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, that is, and you know, one thing that is true is when they chant CM Punk, it's not them wanting CM Punk; it's the audience saying we don't like what we're seeing right now.
Right.
That's what
exactly.
it translates into. So that's okay. They should be allowed to say what they want to say, but the CM Punk shit
Oh boy,
It
at this
gets
point
annoying.
is old.
Here's WWE involved in talks with Vice and Dark Side of the Ring creators for a series.
See what WWE is? I don't really like WWE promoted documentaries. They're only getting the good stuff. I like Dark Side of the Ring because they don't do what WWE says. They do what the real stuff was. So
Right.
and they never really talk bad about the company as a company. But I don't like it being influenced by somebody who's paying them. But I'll still watch it.
Bailey tweeted out a picture of her shoe, which apparently means she might be coming back.
Good. She's the only one that we're missing right
That
now.
appears to be her ring boot.
Why does it suddenly smell like ketchup in here?
Oh no, she does.
Chuck's gonna be
I
happy.
think she's
The
like.
pickle smells
I think
back.
she's
The
like
ketchup
the
smell.
last person we're kind of waiting for to come back. But anyway.
I mean,
She's
she
the only
really
one.
is.
I'll watch the Dark Side of the Ring shit. I got to pay for it. Hopefully, it's on Peacock.
Yeah, you don't have to pay Dark Side of the Ring. It's on YouTube for free.
Well, some of them are.
Oh, mine's. I watched it on Hulu. I guess I have Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's not free on YouTube. Not all of them.
Oh, fair enough. I just have it on. I do pay for Hulu, so I guess I'm talking on my ass. But
Ezekiel and KO.
Good match.
didn't see it.
Ezekiel had a good showing.
I was surprised that KO won.
His fucking he got some ridiculous arrow on his elbow drop. Looked like that's Macho Man kind of
Yeah,
right there.
Absolutely, it is with those.
And then KO
everything.
won.
Look how dumb.
How did he win? Did he do a stunner?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
They're a loss. He still don't look out.
Zeke looks strong in a loss.
KO, he
We'll see
don't.
what happens there. They have a match next week on Raw. There's a
Rematch.
rematch.
Yep.
He said, "Admit you're Elias, and I'll give you a match next week." He said, "Okay, I'm Elias." KO said, "All right, you got your match." And he said, "Well, Now I can tell you I was lying. I'm not a liar.
He's
and I'll
like-
see you next week.
He's
That's awesome.
He's like, hey, I took a page out of your playbook.
He
He's
said, I'm
"That's
like
what-"
you. I'm a liar too.
Yeah.
Dude, that's another guy. He's got a bright future if they do it right, man.
Yes.
Well, it seems like
Whatever his real name
it
is.
seems like they know what they have.
Whatever.
because he never got cut in all these mass releases.
Sure.
Like he's been off TV forever.
And I thought,
they just did a video that I watched yesterday. He went down to the PC and introduced himself there. Dude, I'm Ezekiel. I'm new here. Can you show me around?
that's so awesome.
And he went up to like all the NXT guys. And they're like, sir, oh my God. Like,
We like you, dude.
I really
I've never
liked
been
it.
up here. I've dreamed of this my whole life.
That's really fucking
He looked
awesome.
at a license picture like, oh, my brother. It's like, dude.
That's so cool. I remember I liked it when he was on there with Randy Orton that one night on Randy Orton Appreciation Night.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton was like, Ezekiel? Okay. Like, he just went into
Orton's
it.
like, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
dude.
it's like,
There you
Ezekiel?
go.
It's a very good gimmick.
And-
And I didn't expect it to be.
And as a hater, I do hate on shit that I don't understand. I think me and the other haters are being proven wrong. It's working,
It's working. Yep.
and it's awesome.
It's such a weird gimmick.
It's funny, but he's also doing really well in the ring. And KO was a perfect guy to play off of it,
Liar, you're a liar.
This is the one instance, I think, not one. This is one of the instances where they're doing it very well. They're taking a silly gimmick that could be stupid, and they're doing it awesome. I love it. I love Ezekiel.
I love seeing KO freak out. I was right when he said he was a liar. He's like, I was right. I told you. And then he's like, oh, what?
He was like, I just said that to get my rematch. I'm Ezekiel. And then KO freaked the fuck
Ezekiel.
out. And he, like,
Just like
KO
in the-
freaked out. He jumped out of the ring.
Just
and
like
left.
in this picture, it looks like he's freaked out, even though he won.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid match. It was earlier in the night. I didn't start really paying attention until like midway through. This happened exactly how we thought.
Yep.
Lashley got MVP to fuck. Omos looked strong
Chuck
as
called
fuck.
it. He said he's going to get pinned MVP, and he did.
Made MVP tap to the
Tap,
Hurt
yep.
Lock. I mean, we knew. We
Yeah.
all
And he
said
got his revenge
that
on
was-
MVP, which he said he was going to
Omos won one match. Lashley won one match. And then Lashley gets the rubber match, even though Omos didn't lose. So Omos doesn't look bad.
No, he don't.
And then kind of what we already talked about, the match of the night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we started off. Yeah, we already
Arguably,
talked about
You
that.
can
Great
honestly argue that all three of their matches are like match of the year quality. Like all three of them.
No, they were all very well.
They're all really
Because
good.
Mania was great. The shock factor. The second one was really. I'd go this first, Mania second, and then WrestleMania Backlash third.
Well,
And, like how good they were.
You already mentioned the storytelling of this match was phenomenal. And because of what they wanted to tell in the story was one of the big reasons Cody didn't want to not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's too much to tell. This is how it
Yeah,
ends.
he grabbed the mic after the show and was like, "Yeah, this is my. I said that I was fucking doing it,
He was.
and I wasn't missing this match." He apologized to the fans. Oh my God,
Oh my God.
What we got?
there's
What,
fucking
what breaking news are we going to take right now at
the
RSH Wrestling?
prediction, the apparent match card.
Oh God.
For what?
Money in the Bank.
The women's. Oh my God.
Becky, Asuka, Alexa, Liv, Shotzi, Aaliyah, Lacey Evans, and Raquel Rodriguez.
All right,
for the men's
Aaliyah's in.
playing
I mean, that's all the women.
Liv
that
Morgan.
makes sense.
She won't win once
Usos
again.
and Street Profits make sense because Street Profits
They're
beat
still
them on Raw.
fighting. Yeah.
Rousey, Natalia. Shayna Baszler is now working with Natalia.
Which is good for her.
Austin Theory.
Wonder who's going to win that match.
Austin Theory versus Lashley. Ezekiel and Owens 3. They're expecting Ezekiel to win next week.
That
and then
makes
set up
sense.
That rubber match.
Yep.
And Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, which has already been named. Then John Cena versus Damian Priest versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn versus Madcap versus Sheamus versus Drew for Money in the Bank.
We're going to have
And
John
they
Cena in the match.
I'd like
And
to
they
see
actually
Styles win
predict that
that.
John
But
Cena
I don't know.
will
I doubt
win.
it.
Well,
Money
last
in the
time he
Bank.
cashed in, he lost. So
So John Cena could cash in on Roman, but it'd be redundant for him to lose to Roman again. I don't see him winning.
I mean,
I don't see him being in it either.
what could happen is he could cash in on
Styles, I
Roman,
don't know. With him.
maybe win it, and then Reigns gets it back way before
I'd like to see
WrestleMania.
That'd be
Styles
so,
win it.
that'd be
I
so
know,
stupid to
so
kill his
fun.
like 800-day reign for that.
I mean,
John
I
Cena's
agree.
not winning money.
At this
He's
point,
John Cena wins Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
He's going to lose it to some. Like he'll lose the briefcase to someone like an Otis.
yeah, I mean, at
Like
this
Otis
point,
did. Like
There's
Otis
no
lost to the
point.
Miz.
sure.
John Cena could fight fucking
But
Theory.
I'm kind of over that because they've overutilized that as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
or you could just have Cena win it, then he fights Theory at SummerSlam and winner take all.
I mean,
Theory's
yeah,
like,
I
listen,
guess.
motherfucker, like you want to take my title? I want your briefcase.
But I agree at this point. Reigns has been like the fucking guy for the last 3 years. Why end it
even do
before The Rock?
Roman's
I mean, I'm
already
over
beat
it as
Cena
fuck, but
before,
why
so-
end it now?
I mean, you're
Like-
almost there.
Right.
Not to brag about Roman, but he has beat Cena before, so
I'm just tired of Roman
He
Reigns,
doesn't
but
need-
at this point, who
There's
cares?
no point in him beating Cena again. He's already done it.
he's very done.
But That was Hell in a Cell. And now, this is the only match booked so far. Profits did beat the Usos, so I think the Undisputed Tag Team titles will be on the line there. Ronda and Natalya. I mean, Natalya won that fucking match on SmackDown.
No one contenders match.
So she's going to be part of that, it appears. So we'll go, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens after that.
We don't know the qualifying matches yet, which will be fun to see.
Whether they do qualifying matches, they do it like they did last year,
Or they
just
just
fucking announce
them.
it on fucking TV.
Either one, they'll be exciting.
But
I
we'll
love
go
Money in the
to
Bank.
I love Money in the Bank.
fucking, let's go to Raw.
Finally. I didn't watch SmackDown either.
Yeah, so the
Because-
first thing that happened
Never
was
not.
Cody came out, cut a promo. Seth came out, said, respect, blah, blah, blah. Cody had like a long exit. Seth came out from behind with a sledgehammer, beat the shit out of him.
Ripped his
Saw that on
suit
Facebook.
off
So
and beat
that'll
the crap
ride off
out of
Cody
him.
until at least, they said 3 to 9 months. It depends how he heals.
I heard 6 to 8.
Surgery was to, doctor came on
It's
busted
tomorrow.
Up. Doctor came on busted open and said he can come back in like 4 and wrestle, but if they want to bring him back and like use him for in-ring shit, he can do minimum after 3.
That makes sense.
Assuming how he deals with it.
But one thing we all agree on, he's not going to be the Money in the Bank winner.
No,
Even though we
I do appreciate the fact that he announced that he's going to try to be back for Money in the Bank in this promo.
But we all said John Cena would be at Royal Rumble 2008, and he was. So is Cody Rhodes anywhere near John Cena's level? We'll see. I agree. But
I
we'll
agree,
see.
He's John Cena. But what else?
I mean, Cody Rhodes has really, seriously impressed me. I hated
Well,
the
I'm
dude.
impressed by him, but
I have me too.
comparing him to John Cena is just.
No, it's silly. I agree. I'm not arguing with that. John Cena's John Cena. I can't even see the guy.
Me
And
too.
him coming back's huge.
I was very excited. Which
I mean,
one
this
was
is the time of year where everybody, like,
I mean,
you're going to get a Brock sighting.
be the
Dude, I'm pretty
summer.
pumped for fucking Walter and fucking Ricochet for the IC title.
Be fun.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get his first legit run with the
No
belt. 'Cause
offense.
I don't know when he's going to lose that belt.
I mean,
They've-
Walter is
They've
a
been
guy.
booking him like a
Yeah.
fucking
He
star.
can actually use it right.
His
No
fucking
disrespect to
booking has
Ricochet,
been
but-
just as good as Cody since he got called up.
I mean,
The presentation of him's been
Yep.
good.
Yes.
Like,
the only problem with Walter as a character is he's not flamboyant like everybody else.
yeah, but that's why they got that fucker with
Sure,
him.
absolutely. And he's a guy like I mean, if booked correctly, he'd be a real competitor for Roman Reigns.
I think down the road he could, but I think Brock's more likely.
I mean, sure.
Brock first. Then we
I know
can
I'm
that's
just
one of
over
the
Brock
matches
Lesnar.
they wanted to do was him and Brock. At
Sure.
some point.
I'm just over Brock being
But
here.
if he comes in and beats Brock,
I'm just tired of part timers.
he's fucking. He wasn't part time when he was there.
He was
He worked the full schedule the whole time he was there. Most of
for 3 months.
But Brock Lesnar,
I mean,
his match
he
has to
works
go
the
on
full-
first so
that's-
he can leave.
that's 1/3 part
He
time.
was there from.
I mean, he's part time.
Look, he was there. That Roman Reigns and his feud lasted for fucking ever. Though, like it, they fought at fucking Saudi. It started at SummerSlam. Like,
Remind me, I had to see Brock
like
on
it,
TV.
it went for a while.
He was-
came back and attacked him. What at SummerSlam after he beat Cena?
He was weekly for a few months. I mean,
He had
that's
a- he
full
had a-
time for that time, but it's not full time overall.
Yeah, but he's not
Right.
locked in.
I mean, that's why I'm just over that. I'm over of like we all knew he was going to lose and be going after WrestleMania, and I'm kind of over just knowing that. Like, I
I've
want
been
guys.
over
I want
Brock forever.
full time wrestling. That's what I want. I want full time wrestling. I want guys who are going to be here to be here. Even if you lose, you're still there the next night. Like that's what's good in my opinion.
That's one of the reasons why I never liked Brock.
And that's why I'm like Brock. If he can come
Yeah.
and fight Walter, but like we all know he's going to be gone in 2 to 3 months, so it doesn't matter. It's like John Cena; he'll be gone in 3 months at least. So like, doesn't
Brock
matter.
can take his time
Doesn't
coming
matter.
back slowly. I'm not in a hurry to see Brock.
And John Cena at this point, I'm more excited to see John Cena
Me
just
too.
because at least the guy's kind of fun.
is fun.
You know?
With his color shirts and his funky hairdos. And
I mean, that shit works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does work. I want Walter to like beat Roman Reigns, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. But
it's pretty.
Walter's
The writing's
gonna
on the
win.
wall with Roman's
Sure.
at this point. I mean, he's playing Riddle, Orton, Drew, Survivor Series. Probably nothing at day one. Probably some basic shit at the Rumble.
sure.
Then Elimination Chamber, whatever the fuck they use the second pay-per-view. He doesn't even have to be on it. And then Mania.
And I think Riddle challenging Reigns for the title pretty much proves those rumors correct of,
Yeah,
of Riddle.
and Riddle
Orton,
can get over.
McIntyre.
Riddle can look good in defeat.
Oh, sure. And he's nowhere near the level of what he will be in a couple of years, but
No,
he's
but-
definitely,
This
Yeah.
would be a good experience. for him.
Absolutely.
He's been pretty good since Orton's been out.
absolutely, dude. He's one guy I was absolutely incorrect about a year ago.
Yeah, when he got called up.
Yep.
They've done fucking storytelling.
Love Riddle.
Ciampa was one of Riddle's last opponents in fucking NXT, and of course he runs out there and knees him in the face on Monday. It's like
He did, yep.
And I talk so much shit about Riddle. Put on some damn shoes.
Oh, dude!
Yeah.
Now when he kicks him off, kangaroos bounce around.
yeah.
Like I even fucking
He
like
was on
that.
Miz TV and it was so funny.
Yeah, he talked about Miz's dick or balls, and then Maurice defended them, and then they had an impromptu match after Ciampa
What
kicked
was
him
the
in the
fans
face.
chant?
Small balls.
And he ripped Miz's
Small
pants
The
off.
fans
in
were
the
saying
match.
you got small balls,
And Miz is like holding himself.
and then he ripped his pants off
That's awesome.
at the end when Riddle got the win. Entertaining segment. The Street Profits did beat the Usos by count out,
That's cool.
but it gets the Profits right back in.
Usos aren't losing anytime soon either.
Usos
Veer
look
beat
really
the fuck
good.
out of Dominic, and then Ray interfered,
Oh,
and then
Lord.
Yeah.
Back to
so
Mysterious
Veer
again.
Mahan versus fucking Ray or
And
Dominic.
Veer's
at some
going to
point
beat
is
him
gonna
up.
happen.
He's going to destroy
Are we ever
him.
going to get a Rey Mysterio getting turned on by his son,
How long?
Dominic?
We've said
Maybe
that
at some
for
point.
we've said that forever.
I know. We've been all waiting for
I've
it.
been waiting for it for so long. I don't even care.
Pretty cool though. It's kind of not to get off topic, but a little off topic. Is it's kind of cool how they're doing their thing as father and son. This past Sunday, I raced my dad. He's been a lifelong racing professional go-kart guy, and we actually raced against each other for their very first time
That's
this
cool.
past Sunday. It's pretty cool. Kind of like them doing their thing, but just not on national TV.
Well, that is cool.
More local. But it was a lot of fun. But anyway,
Sounds
so
like
it's kind of
sounds
cool
like
to
it was fun.
as a father and son, their thing is kind of neat.
But Veer's going to take care of Mysterio. We know that.
I'm ready for them to have a feud. Because, I mean, how cool would that be to, as Rey Mysterio, the dude's been wrestling since he was 12 years old or some shit.
Yeah.
And, to grow up in the business and his son joins it, and then to have a WrestleMania match, or not even WrestleMania, to have a professional wrestling match in WWE against your son, that'd be pretty cool. I'd appreciate
I'm ready
it.
to see Dominic do his own thing.
Yeah.
Like, on his own without his dad.
So, but the question is, can he do it? Can he hold the attention of the fans without Rey Mysterio being around? Because as much as I hate to admit it, I've always been a shit talker of Rey Mysterio. As we saw live at Royal Rumble,
He
the
was
dude's
the
popular.
favorite to win. He was very
I mean,
popular.
he got the pops out.
I think he got the biggest pop of the
He
night.
did.
Absolutely, he did, and I can't even argue that. If I did, I'd be lying. He got all the pops, so he's popular as fuck. So can his son do this without Rey?
No.
Probably.
At this point, maybe not, but can he down the road?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Veer, they're just going to have him dominate. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in a handicap match against him and he just beats the fuck out of both of them to keep pushing him down. Because they got Gender's other guy breakdancing on Friday. So at least, even though I do laugh my ass off when he does it because how pissed off Gender gets.
Shanky.
Shanky's such a
I
terrible.
do like how Gender's slowly getting over as a baby face, even though he's not
I
supposed
didn't
to
realize
be.
he was one.
He's not supposed to be.
That's
But his
what I
reactions to his dancing are so fucking funny. People are
Yeah.
cheering him.
I think he has what you call a cult following. Like he's becoming the cult following because you've always liked him,
I
and
didn't
then
like it.
and then people have always it's like a love hate,
It's like, why is he still there?
It's a cult following.
But then he has like a really good month, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's why he's
That's
still
that
there."
guy.
I mean, he's not bad in the ring, but he was just
Well, and when they go to fucking his hometown, he's like, a
Sure.
fucking god. There.
India.
Like,
By the
when
way,
he won the fucking belt, like that was
Yeah.
such a huge deal
Yeah,
over
he
there.
beat Orton.
I'm mad at India
Yeah.
though. I just had to file a fraud on my bank account because of an India scam. So I'm mad at him for that.
It's probably him.
Thanks a lot, Jen.
I know. I have no debit or credit card until Friday or some shit because they have to mail it to me, and I blame him for that because he's from India. So
You're the only one we can think of to blame.
Don't
Thanks a
hinder,
lot,
don't
Gender.
hinder Gender.
Oh,
my wife had to buy my beer tonight because I don't have any fucking credit cards until Friday.
Thanks a lot, Gender. What you did.
And I work for a bank, so that's even more embarrassing. But anyway, I blame Gender for my troubles this
too.
week.
And he beat Randy Orton. I've never let that go. Thanks
'Cause
a lot.
I googled where that scam came out. It's a scam. It's an India scam that originated from India, is what Google said, and Google never lies. And that's why I have no bank account until Friday.
Let's see what so raw. Omos beat Cedric and literally
Cedric
ran up and he
too.
powerbombed him and he lost.
He's a baby face. Yeah, that was interesting.
Becky her match got interrupted by the 24/7 title, which she challenged Dana Brooke to, and then Asuka interfered, and Dana Brooke got the roll-up win.
Tamina got involved.
So that was pretty weird. So
people.
Now Becky's Twitter's blacked out, and she's like going through that stage, kind of like how Seth did last year.
Yeah.
They do a lot of similar segments. Her and
Becky's
Seth
gonna.
I'm telling you, Becky Lynch, I love her. I think she's talented as shit. But since she's come back from being a mother, I think she's terrible. And that promo she did about a month ago where she was trying to replicate Gollum from Lord of the Rings when she said, "My precious," it made me not like her anymore. It was so forced and not in a good way that I miss the Becky Lynch before she had a baby. And I feel like, honestly, I feel like she's trying, her and Seth are talking too much. And she thinks that she can be like Seth with this clothes shit and her crazy promos. That's Seth's forte. Becky Lynch's forte was talking shit and beating ass. So Becky Lynch needs to go back to that. And I truly, truly mean that. This crazy shit, that's Seth. That's not Becky. And they honestly need to stop that shit because it's making, in my opinion, it's just my personal opinion. I liked her way before. I liked her before, not this shit. She was quoting Lord of the Rings, and like I thought she thought people wouldn't notice that.
Right.
And I mean, like it doesn't fit her.
You said family, made me think. Next week is Father's Day.
It is.
So next week we can do our top 5 father and son.
Ooh, I like that.
People
I like
in
that too.
wrestling.
I like that a lot.
And then the week after is John Cena's return. We can do our top 5.
Oh, I can't wait.
John Cena moments.
John Cena moments.
I like that too. He has a lot. He's a lot.
He has a
One
lot.
time.
And then the week after that's prediction, then Fallout, and then we can probably do some random Money in the Bank on the 13th. And then
I'm not with that
so
life.
we can get back our top 5 shit. The father-son thing will be interesting because I'm sure there's some that I wasn't even aware of.
The only one I know is Dominic
I will
Gray. That's
say
the one I
that
know.
Well, Vince and Shane have.
My number one,
okay, yeah,
my
Vince and Shane,
number
yep.
one father and son will be Vince and Hornswoggle. Just so you know, and my number 2 will be Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan.
Jason Jordan.
That'd be my
That's awesome.
That was terrible.
And my third one will be Snitsky and that baby he punted in the first row.
Oh my God.
Hey, that wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
It wasn't his fault.
I heard.
I'll tell you, it wasn't his
I heard. But
I mean, Vince and Shane had a WrestleMania match, and that's pretty cool in its own right. And I saw that Triple H just tweeted or Instagrammed where the
he
fuck
was
he's
hanging
on.
out. Yeah,
With
I don't
Shane's
know
son.
why that was such a big deal.
They were saying he just looks like Vince, is what they were
You
saying.
know, like I don't know if they were like, I didn't get it. Like, oh my God, it's like breaking news on ringside. Like, it's like, why the fuck would he not be at his like nephew's graduation?
Well, I just don't think Triple H, he doesn't use social media that often. So whenever he posts something, it's a big deal.
Like, fucking, he's been fucked up, dude. Like, he almost died.
And he's
And
back.
then he had to retire. Now he's back full time.
Dude,
Like-
I teared up when he put his boots in the ring. It's the end of an era.
Him and
And the Ciampa
Stephanie's
thing was
taking
fucking
time
cool.
off. And
I don't. After we get through Raw, I don't want to like downplay how good NXT in your house was, though.
it was good.
Oh, it was good. I'll actually watch that.
It
Yeah.
was on par with Hell in a Cell outside of the Cody match.
Oh, you mean the current one? I didn't watch that.
Yeah, so like the one that was Saturday night
Not
was
WrestleMania
really
weekend.
fucking
I
good.
got you. I
It
got
was
you.
good.
Ezekiel beat Otis, which is a good fucking win, solid win for him.
So is Otis back on NXT now as well, or is he still doing both? Is he going back and forth?
Who?
Otis.
Otis? No, he's on Raw.
I thought Ezekiel. Oh,
No, we're talking about Raw again. My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused. I was
Ezekiel
thinking
beat Otis on
Apollo
Raw.
Crews is
He
who I
did
was
beat
thinking.
Now,
Otis.
Apollo is officially now on
NXT,
NXT. He's
right.
been moved to that on the roster page.
Right.
And there's rumors that there's going to be a couple more. They're going to probably put a couple more down and call some up
Makes
and
sense.
just kind of do that.
Hey man, do whatever works.
But he beat Otis, which was a good, solid win for him. And then we already said he tricked KO into getting a match next week. So Ezekiel versus KO is going to happen next week.
That's
and then
the
you got Finn
third
Balor-
time, right?
Second.
Oh, second time. Gotcha.
KO beat him at.
Oh, that's right. And then the pay-per-view will be the third
They're
time.
predicting that Money in the Bank they'll have their rubber match, but I think both guys should probably be. I don't know how many people are going to have Money in the Bank. If it's 8 and each show gets 4, but the brand split don't mean a goddamn thing right now, so it doesn't matter who they put
Sure.
in. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I don't
wrong.
know how they're doing that because normally they split it between shows.
Sure.
So I have no idea.
Whenever anybody
I think-
online says about Raw or SmackDown,
I
it doesn't
think
matter.
Becky Ronda at Mania is going to unify the women's belt.
I
Sure.
do too. I've
And
called
then
that.
Roman's already going to have those.
Yep.
And the tag title is already unified. And I think that's going to help them, especially if they scrap the fucking women's tag belts. Or even if they keep them, because that'll, goddamn, that cuts down on the amount of belts they have. That's
Yep.
men's, women's, one tag title, IC, US. Of course, you have the Goofy 24/7, and then you have
That doesn't matter at all.
the
Honestly,
women's.
I would like
So
to
then
see
you
that
have
title
7
go,
for 2
but-
shows instead of 2 men's belts, 2 women's belts.
Oh, dude, I've always
Fucking
been a fan
IC,
of that.
US.
I've hated the brand split since 2001. I've never been a fan of it. So I'm cool
We'll
with
see
it.
what happens
I've
because the
called-
draft is apparently scheduled the week after Saudi, just like it was last
Of
year.
course.
So right before Survivor Series, which how Survivor Series work if there's no brand split. So it's like
The only show that I thought was really, really good that was because of the brand split back when I was in college. You guys will probably remember it as well. I think it was 2008, maybe. You guys can probably tell me more, but bragging rights. That's a great pay-per-view in my
Todd
opinion.
Crisley's in jail.
Yeah,
What
and his
dude?
stupid fucking wife, tax fraud.
Tax fraud.
Holy shit! That's
Yep.
like your mom's hero.
No,
Yeah.
we like the show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like your
Yeah.
fucking
No,
hero.
that show's canceled, and they're gonna go to jail for like 30
Oh my
years.
god!
Lots and lots of tax fraud.
A lot of money, yeah.
What about their slutty daughter?
But I really, really
She
like.
ain't a slut, Josh.
Is
She's
she in
my
jail,
age.
too?
No.
And
Well,
they're like-
hopefully not.
And their
No.
homosexual son.
They like to keep sluts on the
That
streets.
is. I did not know they were in jail.
They have evidence of
Dude,
that.
and maybe they'll delete that shit off fucking.
They've been in the news for a while because of that shit.
Yeah.
But WWE bragging rights is my favorite like brand split pay-per-view.
I remember that paper.
It was very similar to Survivor
I
Series.
liked it too.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was with
Team Raw,
2008.
Team SmackDown.
I just remember because I was in college at my college house, we had the poster on it. Because we always go to B-dubs, and then they'd give us one of the posters, so we'd put it on our wall. So like my living room in college had like all of the
B-dubs.
B-dubs. Yeah, Buffalo Water
I
Balloons
might
for you
have to
fools.
hit
You know what
up,
that is.
Boneless wing days tomorrow.
I prefer Roosters, man. Roosters is better
I
food.
do too, but B-dubs is cheaper.
Yeah.
Like on Thursdays, you get BOGO. So you get 20 wings for $11.
That's pretty cool.
Roosters, 20 wings by $32.99. So
Yeah, dude, we used to go there for pay-per-views, and then when I moved back home, we would go to B-dubs on Tuesdays for trivia night. And we won quite a bit and got like B-dub vouchers. So it's very cool. I was always like the wrestling and TV guy because they had wrestling questions. And my buddy, he'll still text me every once in a while, asking me like random questions about wrestling. Like, oh, you must be at trivia somewhere. And
Randy Orton.
Oh God, I don't even want to know.
hopefully his back's all right. I'm
I hope so.
ready for him to come back.
Me too.
His back injury bummed me out.
They hired a guy that Randy Orton vouched for, and Orton said this could be the guy that replaces me. And he does look like him a little bit.
Oh my
This
God.
dude,
He does.
his name is David Bostian.
You're not Orton, bro.
Is it David Benoit with a different last name? Because he wants to be a professional wrestler.
Well, I mean, AEW is the place that honors
Yeah.
people that didn't wrestle for them.
That
So
is
I mean,
true.
they would be the ones that bring in Chris Benoit's kid.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like they did Owen Hart.
His name, I'm sorry,
Never wrestled.
his name was Daniel, not David. My bad.
David is. So I've been made
Oh
aware.
no, I'm sorry. Daniel's who we killed.
God damn. All right,
Let's move on real quick. Let's move on real quick.
So David,
Wrong topic.
you know how women have Karen? Like we're just like, oh my god, you're such a Karen.
Yeah.
So David is male's Karen, if you weren't aware.
Okay.
So when you're like, you're such a David, like that's
I did not hear
our
that.
and it made me feel good because Josh is such a basic bitch name
So
that I thought that like me, it'd be like Josh or Matt or
sure.
fucking Chris,
Chad.
something basic,
Yeah.
but it's David. So
Yeah, I'll take it.
fuck you. Except David Ortiz, my favorite baseball player, but the rest of the Davids, fuck off.
I've heard of that guy's name. That's where it hints. Nothing but baseball.
What else? Oh, Finn Balor, the Judgment Day thing.
Talked about
That
that.
happened.
Yeah.
That was Raw.
I was wrong.
So SmackDown is Ricochet versus Gunther for the IC title. Riddle's going over there to call out Roman, and Roman's apparently supposed to be there to answer it. And the Profits, I think, are going over there to fuck with Usos somewhere
Sure.
after they beat them.
Sure.
Pretty much all we know.
I mean, the Profits, The Rock is really high on the one Prophet guy. I don't know the guy's name.
Oh, NXT. So fucking what's his face comes back. Apollo Crews.
Nice. Yes.
And then he teams up with the Uso that's down in NXT.
And that Nigerian
Solo.
shit's done, right?
So-
He did not have an accent.
Thumbs up for that.
And he had different music. And he was like Apollo Crews from NXT for the first time.
Cool.
And
Was
he-
his like shit still green?
No.
All right.
NXT doesn't have the
The lights. Gotcha.
that capacity. The screen's pretty small.
Gotcha.
No, they didn't book him as Black Panther during this one. Lacey Evans will
Was
be
that
on-
general guy still there or
No,
no? All right,
Aziz,
cool.
Just Apollo by itself.
Just Apollo these
I think
days.
Aziz will either get fired because apparently some more releases are coming soon,
Uh-oh.
Sure.
or get repackaged.
Probably
So we'll see.
fired.
Fired.
I'd
Sorry.
assume so. They said
They got a
more
muss.
releases are supposed to come. So like, some people, like I think he might be one that goes. Women wise, I don't think they can really afford to fire anymore.
I mean, if they do, they gotta get rid of that tag title.
I mean,
Get rid of those.
well, I mean, they got.
You don't have
They
proper
got some
teams for them. Keep them.
I'm worried more about NXT because like Io Shirai's been main roster ready for fucking over a year now,
Not up
and
there.
she's not being used in anything down there.
Seriously.
It's like
far up.
if they don't see her as main roster material like they did a couple of the other ones, do they let her go? I don't know, but they said this
Sure.
coming soon. So one of these weeks we're going to be breaking down more releases.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
Hopefully
but
somebody we like.
That's
they
all
get
for
released.
SmackDown tomorrow. The Gunther Ricochet's allegedly the main event. So that'd be good.
I think the highlight of the week is Finn Balor taking over Judgment
Yeah.
Day.
I
It makes
agree.
it so
And he
much more
shakes-
interesting.
And he shakes
Yeah.
Edge's hand, and then he completely turned on him.
Demon versus Edge at fucking SummerSlam would be great.
Sure.
And the long-term storytelling of when Edge won the Rumble, and he was debating which champion to face, and he went down the NXT that 1 week.
Oh, I remember that.
That's
was
when he
Yeah, I
called
remember.
out Balor.
He
He
did.
was like, "I should fight you." He's
I remember
like,
that.
That's where this long-term. But he's like, "Your issue is you listen to people. You're in these clubs, and you're always following other
I
people."
mean, technically, this is still a club. It's just a
But
different
he's like,
name
it's
for
time
it.
for you to
Right.
fucking
Do your own
stand
stuff.
out on your own and be a leader and all this shit. And
I just thought that group was so lame. I
he
think
inevitably
Balor
turns
being-
on Edge.
Yeah, that's better.
What's lame is Young Bucks own the right to the Bullet Club,
Oh my
which is
God, I
fucking
hate that
weird.
segment.
Which Finn started. Yeah, it is fucking weird. But hey, it is what it is. But and they don't even use it anymore. Now they're just the elite. Why are they employed? Why are they around?
I have a better question. Why are they human beings? That's a really good
I like
question.
that too. Like they fucking suck.
Well,
Anyway, I could rant all day about how much the
Not
Young Bucks suck.
disrespecting our mother, but I mean, why are they human beings?
I mean,
Why?
if their mother sucked, we'd be better off as a whole.
why don't you swallow it? That's what-
I want to tell you, Debbie, and I immediately fast forward. I didn't want to hear him talk.
There's
This
this
is
guy
why
at
I
work
should've-
today that was telling me, it's like, yeah, I didn't realize his name was Mark, and I was talking to him. Mark could have been a fucking the Karen of men too, because
Yeah,
Mark's
Mark's
such a
the-
basic bitch name. But he was talking about it. He's like, yeah, he was talking about replica belts, and it's like, dude, I have like 4 of them.
Sure.
He was like, oh, you like wrestling? And I was like, yeah, like obviously, I wear like my shirts into work all the time. So you think I wear a
Well, that's
fucking
cool.
Walk with Elias shirt because I fucking like.
Because I don't know who that
It's
is.
just casual. I did buy a Pornhub shirt today on Amazon. But that's a
Nice.
different story.
I like
Oh,
Pornhub.
for God's
I'm
sake.
making a
Utilize it
statement.
often.
No, and when people are like, "Oh, that's so weird," it's like, "Show me your bookmarks." dude.
Exactly.
And if you ain't got
Oh
one,
my God.
like,
then your bookmark says porn tube instead,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck it
Oh
is.
my Lord.
Oh, knock it off. You know it's true.
but anyway,
I don't want to know if it's true or not.
anyway, he was like, "Dude, Dynamite's on tonight." He's like, "You know what's going to happen?" So I pulled up the fucking shit. It's like, "Oh my God, they just booked Pac versus Buddy Murphy or
That's-
Buddy Matthews."
It's his first time fighting in like ever.
A month,
Yeah.
like-
Their group
Man.
is called the House. I think it's called
No
the House
MJ
of Black.
no
Yeah,
MJ.
it's been around for a while.
no CM Punk.
Well, MJF is written off.
Well,
Yeah.
if that's a work, it's lame.
It's a work.
Then it's
They would have gave him time last,
loses
last
a-
week.
it
It
loses.
wasn't work.
Because now, like the Warner Brother people are pissed off.
It's just like CM Punk when he was WWE. It's a real thing that they turned into
See,
a
but
work.
I knew CM Punk shit was a work.
You know MJF's is too. They wouldn't have gave him that airtime if it wasn't. I mean, that's the end of
that
the
makes
day.
it very lame for me.
I mean, that's
It
it
does.
is.
And I want to
really
take back
bought
the
it,
first
too.
person to go to WWE from NXT or from there is not going to be him. It's going to be Ricky Starks.
I believe that.
Ricky Starks got I read this earlier. He got a contract offer from WWE the same day he got his contract offer from Dynamite, which was conveniently on a Wednesday afternoon where they're like, if you sign this, we have a fucking thing with Taz for you tonight. Who'd he call? Cody, who's like his best friend. Where's Cody?
Sure.
Maybe.
NXT or fucking WWE. When's his contract up? September. Who's he probably gonna call?
Sure.
Cody. Did he have any ill will toward WWE? Well, he didn't sign. No, he just wanted to be with Cody, and he
Good.
thought Taz would be a good way to get his name out there. And he hasn't been utilized that great.
Sure,
Yes.
but-
he's doing good.
And
on
there's also
AEW.
rumors that Andrade's irritated with it.
Of course.
A lot of these former people that are so thrilled to leave
Right.
are learning that the it's
'Cause-
not always bright on the other side.
Well, no, they were
They're
hired
getting
for the
booked-
shock value.
Well, they're getting booked the same way, and they're making less money.
They were hired for the shock value.
So now they're probably
That's why they
thinking
were
like,
hired.
man, if we would have shut the fuck up.
I mean, you can't hire 50 people when you have 2 hours of
Well,
weekly
now you
television.
have people like
And you
Bray
can't
Wyatt.
use everybody.
Oh,
in
but they
one
are
night.
doing so. They did fuck up their power rankings again.
Uh-oh.
So
Of course they
Wardlow
did.
was number 1 after he beat MJF,
Oh,
but then John Moxley suddenly jumped him because now the winner of the Battle Royal will fight John Moxley to be the interim
oh my
AEW
Lord.
champion.
That
So-
I think we should discuss for a second.
Because-
how ridiculous is that?
Are they
That's
not?
stupid.
Are they not just trying to replicate the Summer of Punk with John Cena, where they both had the fucking belt?
I mean, I
Now you're
never
gonna
thought
have-
of that. I guess
Because now
the-
they both have a belt.
the difference.
Who's the real champion?
That's
the
stupid.
difference was that one was gone and came back and was like, I never actually lost it. The interim is saying you're just an interim, and I think that's just silly. That's a good point. When they did come out, they both had the belt.
It
But
just-
you can relinquish a belt or be taken out as champion and you're replaced.
All right, so
An
Battle
interim
Royal-
is stupid.
the Battle Royal will open the show.
I agree. It's stupid.
The Battle face John Moxley in the main event tonight,
God.
and they'll advance to Forbidden Door to compete for the
Forbidden
interim
Door.
AEW World Championship.
Reminds me
Here's
of
what I
porn,
don't
man.
like.
Forbidden door.
Here's
That's
what I-
that's the back door.
Here's what I don't like.
All right.
Why are there 2 New Japan motherfuckers in this AEW tournament?
Because a lot of fans pretend to watch New Japan Wrestling,
But
like
the-
MJF said
but-
last week.
Based on what Cokehead said,
Which one's Cokehead?
Tony Khan.
Cody Khan, no.
Yes.
He said that
He does definitely.
the
do. He does
AEW championship is strictly based off of their power rankings. No New Japan motherfuckers are in their power rankings. 0 of them.
That's why I
So why are they in this tournament?
That's the problem with professional wrestling. That they everything.
I
is
think I recall when
scripted.
they did power rankings that I said it was the stupidest fucking thing they could do because they're going to bite them in the ass because they're impossible to follow.
I would agree with
Why
that.
does the NFL do it? Because it's subjective.
Because it's
it doesn't
real.
change anything.
It's real.
Right, yeah.
In wrestling, you have to book shit different. Just because the Patriots are 30th in the rankings and the fucking Browns are 4th, it's like that shit could change organically.
Sure.
In wrestling, you can't put fucking Orange Cassidy against fucking Hukama Tiachi or whoever the fuck the greatest wrestler in Japan is.
Sure.
And act like when Kenny Omega comes back, he's like, go fucking get thrown right back at number 1, being
He
1-0.
will, he will.
Sure.
Like their power rankings are bullshit.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And they're
And
bullshit.
their win loss is fucking stupid too.
Yeah, it's like
It is
dude's like
stupid.
16-30. He's third in the power rankings. Thunder Rosa wins the women's belt. She ain't been on TV in a fucking month.
She
Now
hasn't.
the report is she's getting pissed off because why is she a second? They're still making her secondary to Britt, even though
Yeah.
she beat her for the belt. She's beat her twice. They fought 2 times.
And
She's
Britt's
won
still
both of
above
them.
her. Britt's still over them.
But I
Yeah.
get that
I mean-
Britt needs booked, but she
Yeah.
won the goddamn Owen Hart thing
Yep.
with Adam Cole, which I thought maybe I'm just a hater about love, but like I was so fucking corny.
No, I agree.
Like,
when it comes to
they have
love
the,
on
I
the
TV,
like
power
it.
couple had to win. The
They are
fucking
the power
great.
couple.
the fact that
I
Owen
liked
Hart's
it.
shit's even being on AEW pisses me off a little bit because he had nothing to do with
sure.
AEW.
But the family
It's
hates
cool.
WWE.
I get that, but
Yeah, he
like,
had nothing to do with AEW. That was weird to me.
all
Well,
right. So
to be
the
fair,
winner,
WWE doesn't exist.
let me see if I can get Hiroshi Tanahashi and Hiroki Goto
Sure.
will fight
That could be
from New Japan
Hey, don't
Dominion.
laugh. It makes you racist.
I can't
Will
help
fight
it.
from New Japan
Can't help it.
New Japan Dominion, and that winner fights the winner of Moxley and whoever he fights tonight for the AEW Championship. Makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's pretty silly.
It's
So,
silly.
The AEW title could be held by somebody from New Japan that ain't in their power rankings that don't like. It's just
Come on,
fucking.
Moxley.
Oh, and Rampage will be taped tonight.
Sure. It always is.
That's exciting.
I mean, it's always taped. It's never live. They
And
always
then
tape it.
hey man, Adam Page. Remember him? Yeah, me either.
He's the last champion.
He's fighting David Finlay.
He liked beer, like myself.
And then you got Pac and Buddy Matthews. The coolest thing about Buddy Matthews is he went from banging Alexa Bliss and now he's banging Rhea Ripley.
Oh, is he really?
They're dating.
Are they
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
I mean,
how did you find out?
I mean, Alexa Bliss is hotter. But Rhea Rhea does more. I'm just saying.
oh God,
He went-
no.
This is her brutality.
Oh, jeez, I knew he was gonna walk into that.
Buddy,
Alexa's married. She's fine.
I didn't know that.
She's
yeah.
fine.
You're like a fucking like a drummer or some shit. That guy ain't gonna last.
Ryan Cabrera, Josh.
I don't remember who the fuck he is. Jesus, I don't know what he's a musician of some sort.
He used to be. He don't sing no more.
Oh, what? So what does he do now?
He pretends to sing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his music just don't get famous anymore.
So he sucks.
It's like one song.
I mean,
No.
he's married to Alexa Bliss, so he's doing something right.
I mean-
I can't hate on him.
No,
but
maybe she's
I
not.
just
Never mind. I'll
think
move
he's
on.
dating a lot.
Dude, seriously,
Rhea
she's
Ripley,
So, yeah.
she is a goddess. I mean, I will say I
let
love
me
Alexa
see if
Bliss.
there's any other shit.
I just really think it's silly. Like, I'm not even trying to hate on AEW. I don't really watch it, so I can't hate on it as I'm not
I do. I can.
Pertain to it, I guess.
Oh, so you guys won't see this, but
What's
this
the
is
idea of a
the Myers by my work has 2 plants. The
Is that-
Myers
is that
got
Tip
knocked
City?
down today in
I saw
Tip
there's
City.
a tornado in Tip
Yeah,
City.
so I'm transferring to Tip City some point.
I've been
in July.
I've been to that Meyer in Tip City. Holy
So
shit.
that Meyer is now in.
That's cray. So we have tornadoes all over the place. We're doing this show live tonight in spite of tornadic activity.
Yeah, we had a fucking tornado siren,
So-
and apparently one hit down in Springboro, which is about
Right over
half a
there.
mile,
Yeah.
Not far.
one way or the other.
Right before
around
you guys got here, the sirens were going off. So like I said, we were that dedicated, guys. We were off for a month and a half, not because of
Oh,
tornadoes.
shit.
We'll be off again because of tornadoes.
Since we've been on Wednesdays,
All
like
right,
crazy
so-
stuff's happened. The rain, tornado.
I am scared of tornadoes.
Do we have any other news before we wrap up?
I think that's pretty much it. I just really
Let me see if
hate
there's
the idea
anything new.
of an interim champion with AEW. I thought that was the silliest thing in the world.
Well, Tony Khan,
Oh, God.
John Cena, CM Punk said he would relinquish the belt. Tony Khan said no.
I wish Punk
Under no
was. It's the
circumstances
fair
you do
thing to
that.
do.
It's them trying to be different. And
Yeah.
and
AEW
it's not
stars are
necessary.
leaving notes for fans before Dynamite.
I'm not really gonna believe that
That's
kind of stuff.
Whether it's getting next, well, there's pictures of them, and they're in their chairs. So AEW has been working. To those who attend their shows, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, to name a few, have been writing letters and leaving them in the chairs of certain fans find them. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the intern
I don't
thing is
fucking
pretty
care.
stupid.
I just think the
It
interim
is
thing.
stupid.
I'm just gonna talk about what I see on television. Well, what I
I
don't see,
agree.
what I hear on television.
Yeah, the interim thing's done.
I just think it's silly. Like it's not. I know UFC does that sometimes. I guess we're not UFC.
I
I hate
agree,
it when
it's-
professional wrestling tries to be not professional
Yeah,
wrestling.
I agree.
Speaking of,
It drives me crazy.
Did you see Ryback try to report some
Yeah, I saw Kip. What's his
God.
fuck?
that they were going to bring back?
Skip Sheffield says.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's his fucking character in WWE.
Yeah,
And then
and people believed
they're
it.
going to bring Big Cass back to be Edge's brother,
Yeah,
and him and
and people reported
they're
it.
going to team up to fight
Oh.
Ezekiel and Elias at fucking SummerSlam, and
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, the internet needs to stop.
But yeah,
why is anybody listening to Ryback at this time?
It's
How
like-
has this guy not been canceled yet?
The dude is crazy.
He talks shit about Vince's dead mother,
yeah,
Oh my God.
like the day she died.
the guy is crazier than Chris Benoit. Is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like at
Tony
the end
Khan
of
said on Busted Open today that he is extremely nervous
Of course.
about Punk surgery.
Of
He's
course.
optimistic, but
It's
there's
a
a
foot.
chance that he could be out longer.
it's a foot, he'll be fine.
See, Tony Khan needs to realize if he loves CM Punk as much as he does, he should have listened to him. The fair thing to do is let Punk give the belt up. It's fair
I
to
just
the
think
others.
they're
now.
Relinquish the
I
belt.
think
He
they're
can
literally-
re-earn his opportunity. It's just fair.
I just think they're literally trying to recreate the summer of Punk with Cena.
I think he's just holding on to Punk.
Two
No,
belts.
Punk's, I mean, Punk's gone. He can't.
No, he'll be back in a month or two, they said. But I just think they're going to try to do that.
I mean, it could be. I mean, CM Punk. I mean, I like CM Punk a lot.
But look,
I don't care about that.
One of these New Japan fuckers is going to win the belt. Watch.
Probably. I mean, I
Come on, Moxley.
think their whole thing. I hate it when companies join together.
Dude, the
Yeah.
best part of MJF's
I like a
promo
company.
was
you know?
when he was like, "Oh, because I don't pretend to watch New Japan wrestling."
That made me
It's like,
laugh
dude,
because how many
that's-
people do we know?
no, but
No, I mean,
probably the working fans, guys.
In
But
our-
that's it.
in our internet social
Oh, no,
contacts.
I know.
You know
The
what I mean?
working fans
I'm not trying to
guys.
talk shit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't pretend.
Nobody's
to watch
like, "Oh my
New
God,
Japan
did you see
wrestling."
Tabachi who
Yeah.
Soto hit that moonsault
It's
last
like,
night?"
I don't care, man.
Nobody gives a fuck.
And so and that statement was so true. It made me LOL. The fact that it is going to be a work and they're going a little bit more extreme. It's very similar to CM Punk's back in 2011, except this time
MJF's promos.
they're making the network act as well. Because USA didn't give a shit, but
Right.
So I like it a lot. I think that
hope-
that promo was great.
I
He hit
hope.
shit a lot.
I
which
hope- I
makes it
hope-
edgy,
I hope-
guess.
Moxley wins the title.
All right, here's
For
the
right now.
only fucking way I'm okay with. He interrupts this battle royal tonight somehow.
MJF.
He wins.
I think he'll be off for a while.
He beats Moxley. He beats whatever New Japan fucker that he has to fight at Forbidden Door, and somehow he gets through all this. I'll keep whatever, however he
Sure.
gets there. Then he wins the interim title,
Be great.
and because Punk came out and chased him out. Remember after the cameras went off
Sure.
or whatever,
Well, he was just trying to be like, what the fuck? And then just like, fuck
and then
you.
it starts.
And then bounce.
Then you do
And
that again.
Continue their feud.
Yeah, and it
Which is
goes
a great
to,
feud, by the
listen,
way.
motherfucker. And
I actually
feel
watched that feud on YouTube.
Well, I feel like
loved it.
MJF carried most of that.
I mean,
That's just
no,
me.
I disagree.
But-
I think they both did a really good job.
I think
They-
Punk-
playing their part.
I think Punk, since he's returned, has been slightly below average.
I mean, I don't think it could be better. I mean, I don't know what anybody else
it could
would
be way better.
What would anybody expect, though? I mean, he's just a guy.
Their expectations were unrealistic.
Sure.
That's what I said when he got there. There's like, oh, we're gonna pop 2 like your viewership's kind of it's dwindled. Like,
I mean, they try to use him to get Rampage.
I never
off.
thought I'd quote Jim Cornette. And sorry, Tyler.
Oh, you already
think
lost
Jim
my opinions.
But, like,
That's crazy.
He said they focus too much on great wrestling and no stories.
That I can argue with.
It's true.
I can argue with that.
They don't, and he's right. And he started naming, like, here's the good stories that have happened. Wardlow and MJF. What's the common denominator? CM Punk and MJF. Cody and MJF. Fucking the Inner Circle with MJF. He said,
sure.
What's the one constant? All these things. It's fucking MJF. And where's he at? He's gone now. He's like, now you have no story. He's like, you ruined Adam Page's title reign was pathetic for as good of a story leading up to him winning the belt could have been.
Sure.
Adam Page winning the belt finally was kind of like a smaller scale version of when Cody finally wins that belt.
Sure.
Because he didn't win it on the first night. He wasn't the chosen guy. They gave it to the WWE guy, right?
Sure.
And he fought Scratch Claude. He joined the Dark Order. He went through all this shit. He won.
Yep.
He was forgotten about for a while.
Let's be honest.
Then you put the belt on Punk. Injuries happen. And I ain't gonna blame Punk for it. Like,
no, it happens.
but this is the situation you're in.
Sure.
So it's not a great situation. And then you
talk about professional
Cody
wrestling.
leaving is going to hurt. It's going to continue to
I
hurt.
think it's funny.
It's gone.
But seriously though, like when it all comes, I'm not trying to shit talk AW. I wanted AW to be very, very
So
well.
did I. I watched it for the first fucking 7
You watched
months.
more than I did. But let's be honest. What's something that since we were all 3 children, we are all in our
Do you have
30s
that
now.
recording? AEW.
Last night.
No, do you have a recording tonight? I want to watch the Battle Royal
Well, sure.
because that's going to dictate how this show goes.
But let's take off with this. What's something that we've all 3 been told since we were little kids? Professional wrestling is a soap opera, right? And this is why professional wrestling is as popular as it is because WWE made it that popular, WWF, whatever we want to call it. The fact is, the storytelling and the soap opera-ness of it is what made it that popular. That's what got me interested.
Well, that's why soap opera is so fucking good.
And so what do the indie guys love? They love the professional, exact same thing,
Flips
but they
and
love
shit.
the professional, the wrestling, the flips and shit. For sure, you got your audience for it, but to be mainstream television, it doesn't matter how many flips and shit that you do.
Speaking of flips and shit,
Don't shit like Amber. But
I'm very sad that they had to scrap the moonsault off the top of the cell that Cody was.
yeah, that would have been cool.
Kind of like he did. Remember when he did it on Dynamite?
I do. And Jericho did it once a while back too.
Like that would have been epic.
On the cell,
but
yeah.
Neither here or there.
But yeah, the wrestling, it needs to be there. It needs to be good. But the storytelling is number one.
It's like we talked.
It just
about
is.
outside. I think we take for granted the wrestling's normally fine.
Sure.
Like it's always good.
No,
but
nobody's bad.
We talk about the Cody and the fucking Seth thing. Like the wrestling was fantastic. We knew that it was going to be.
It's
The
storytelling.
the Dusty Rhodes dress up, the fucking torn pec, the pedigree,
cowbell.
the fucking sledgehammer. Like
Storytelling.
Seth Rollins saying, "You and your buddies tried to break down in fucking
Sure.
6 months what I built for 6 years."
Now let's say
That's
those two
why it
came
was
down.
so fucking
Let's
good.
say we have these same 2 guys who are both phenomenal in the ring. Let's say all that was gone, and they came out and did flips and shit. Nobody would even care. Nobody would
But
pay
that's
for that.
AEW's fan base. That's what they want.
Yeah.
But it also shows the fact that their fan base doesn't rise.
That's what
that
got them
they're only
started.
appealing to one certain fan base, and that's all they're hitting.
They're
And that's why it's
forgetting-
not growing.
They're forgetting the story.
Why is WWE so much
Yep.
more successful? Besides the fact they've been in business a hell of a lot longer,
Yep.
but they hit children.
The thing back in the
When, like,
90s
they got
was
shit for everything. Though AEW has it too. Let me ask you this: where the fuck's Orange Cassidy been? He's not hurt either. Looked it up. He's not hurt. Where is he?
that's the problem.
He was one of the hottest fucking things in
He was
AEW.
storytelling.
They put him over Jericho, and
Yep.
his storytelling was good. And the motherfucker don't talk.
And I was gone.
Where is he?
I agree.
Puts his hands in his pockets.
I agree.
Like, where's all these people? They have Hook, who's like they put him with that fucking
That's his
clown
kid.
guy,
Yeah,
Danhausen.
I know.
Yeah.
Which I don't
he's-
understand.
Like, look,
I don't
I
understand that
find
shit.
him oddly entertaining for some reason.
Sure. I don't watch it,
Like
so I
he
can't
talks in
test.
third person.
Sure.
He's like
Wow.
evil. It's
Like The Rock did, but whatever.
It's kinda
He's
weird.
loud.
Yeah.
he's kind of weird, but like I get it. But like they throw Hook with him, which I get it. Like you can't throw Hook right into the fucking.
Orange
Sure, sure,
Cassidy
sure,
has
And
a
like
midnight-
Christian's
12
not
years
doing
old.
a goddamn thing. You know how fucking
pisses
great
me off.
Christian and Edge
Yeah.
versus fucking Priest and Balor at like Money in the Bank would
I
be.
know.
That'd be great.
But Christian's too busy hanging out with the fucking dinosaurs.
Well,
again.
like main
WWF
event.
didn't want him. They didn't want Christian.
Well,
I think Christian is one of the most underrated guys in the professional
I can
wrestling
tell you guys
history.
what Christian's
I
doing.
think
He's
he would have
hanging
been
out
able to
with
team with Edge a
Luchasaurus.
few times. I think he'd be utilized better than he has been in AEW.
I mean, I could argue
He
with
wanted
that.
to go.
I was really excited. I loved his Omega matches too. I loved it.
It was really
But
They
then he
started
hasn't done
off
shit
hot,
since.
and
Yeah.
then they
They
disappeared.
AEW
Rusev
did.
just came back from like a fucking
Let's start this catchphrase. They AEW did.
yeah.
This
Like,
is how they feel
sign
about
a
it.
person,
Yep.
put him on Talk
I
is
mean-
Jericho, debut him for 2 weeks on Dynamite,
Throw 'em to the
AEW
side.
Dark.
That's how they feel.
It's-
That's
I-
what Cody said in the Stone Cold thing. He
I
said,
hate to admit
he
it,
said, I
but it
hate
is
that
what
I.
it
He
is.
said, I hate that the company was becoming a meme. It was sign ex WWE guy,
He
put
was.
him over me,
He's right.
be on Talk is Jericho. Then they were on Dark in 3
They
weeks,
never re-released.
and he's like, they took all my
Not
power away.
released,
That I was
just
supposed to
not
have.
anywhere.
Well, yeah.
No, but Tony Khan's just sitting on people.
That's the thing, Cody. I mean,
The
yeah, I don't know what
shittiest
he's doing.
thing, the
He's an
shittiest
idiot.
karma about all this is Tony Khan signed all these XW guys. He can't even sign the ones that he wants. They
That's
can't
sad.
afford to sign a Bray Wyatt who wants $4 million a year because that's what he made in WWE. They can't afford to sign a Cesaro.
So apparently nobody can afford because
Yes,
WWE's
Cesaro-
like, got rid of it for the same
Cesaro
reason.
forever happened.
But,
Oh, yeah.
but,
I think they had backstage shit. I don't think $4 million
sure.
is going to
I mean,
kill
it's
them.
all the same
That's
shit.
an
But, like,
But to get to
Cesaro.
To the
Yeah.
original point was AEW doesn't understand that the showmanship is a big part of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. They're
It's like-
forgetting that
I
aspect
normally
of
don't
it.
quote Jim Cornette, but God damn it, was he right?
The difference between 100,000 and 1 million is flips and shit. Do flips and shit with a story, 1 million.
Yep.
Just flips and shit,
If you want to go
100,000.
back to why is WWE bring back these part-time guys, it's like the stories, Theory and Cena writes itself.
Sure.
I mean, Cena was fucking McMahon's guy backstage. We all knew that. It
It's
didn't
all
have to
story.
be on screen. Theory.
John Cena had 5 moves, and he was the biggest guy in the company for 15 years.
Yep.
I was talking to Mark about this earlier. You think about all the people in history that have been like the biggest in wrestling. Stone Cold didn't have a fucking epic
5
fucking
moves.
move set. The Rock didn't either. Triple H.
No,
Triple
absolutely.
H probably has the best move set out of all those legends.
The Rock is all showmanship, and he was there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Biggest star of the company.
And then
Like, fuck.
so like Cena, Austin, Rock, Hogan, big leg, big boot. Do you
3
hear me,
moves.
brother? Like Andre the Giant.
Well,
Like
he was just a
had
monster, yeah.
Scoop Slam.
No,
like,
I mean, it all proves the
if you
point.
Triple H had a shit ton.
He did.
I'll give him that because
No.
I was talking about like he was like, give me your top 10 favorite, and I was like, Triple H is definitely
Hunter's consistent as fuck.
like Undertaker, Tombstone, Power Bomb,
Consistent,
Last Ride,
consistent as fuck.
the walking the top rope,
Showmanship.
Big Boot, Kane, like
Showmanship.
Big Show. They all had
Showmanship.
a couple moves. You know who's not in the fucking running for all this shit? Fucking Chavo Guerrero or the Young Bucks
Yep.
or fucking
Fuck the Young Bucks.
Super Crazy or Nunzio and all those fuckers that ran around back in those days doing all their flips and shit.
Super crazy. Hell yes.
Yeah.
I'm super and I'm crazy.
And he's doing flips and shit, but like he'll never be in no top 10
He
list.
goes a lawnmower. I remember
And
that
then you
shit.
talk about, you want to think about Roman, Superman punch, spear.
It's John
the
Cena, man.
choke.
5 moves.
He fucking
Yeah.
runs and kicks you in the face. What's he do? He gets a reaction. He pisses you off. He can talk.
And one thing you can say
And
about
his
most of these
storytelling
guys
is
outside The
good.
Rock is the one thing you can say about John Cena and Roman Reigns and a few other guys that we just mentioned.
Seth,
They can do wrestling moves, but nobody cares.
they matter. You have to
It's
do them.
showmanship.
If you do a fucking super kick every week, it ain't gonna matter anymore. Super kick party.
Nope. If you go back and watch go back and watch a John Cena match when he was the prototype in OVW, he was doing all kinds of moves. Guess what? Nobody cared. It's all about showmanship. That's what professionally.
If you do a move in a ring and nobody's there to watch it, does it even really?
That's what
matter?
professional wrestling is. It's showmanship. It's can you get the audience to like or hate you? And doing flips and shit ain't gonna do either one of those. That's it, man.
And super crazy.
That's it. You're on a lawnmower.
That was a name drop.
Oh my God.
that was an old school name drop for sure.
Oh man, he's a SmackDown guy. Back in like
Well, I couldn't
02?
think of people right off the fucking bat. Like, you know, Billy Kidman. Like, they all did all
Sure,
that cool
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like, they're not. It was good for what it was.
I'm just saying, I wasn't expecting to hear his name on
No,
tonight's
I was.
show.
It's honestly not a name I expected to say during tonight's show. But
But it proved the point.
Point got crossed.
That was awesome.
oh man.
But yeah, so I guess that's what we're trying to say. That's the point of tonight's show is
We'll spit it out.
it's all about showmanship and wrestling is second. And people can
Wrestling
argue that.
needs
You'll get your New
story.
Japan guys who argue that, who
I'm
love
fucking-
those guys, you know. At the end of the day, WWE, you hate them or love them. I love to hate them these days. The fact is they got that popular, not because of wrestling abilities, but because of showmanship and storytelling. And that's what professional wrestling is. I don't give a shit about UFC. If I wanted to watch real fights, I'd watch fucking UFC. That's what nobody watches anymore, UFC, because nobody cares. For people like storytelling. That's why we go to movies. That's all predetermined. We all love it.
Oh, dude, John Cena flew from the Netherlands to meet a disabled
saw that.
teen.
That's
who fled
awesome.
Ukraine war. And he said his brother or whatever was I love Alexa Bliss. Cena reached out to her and she called in and talked to him too.
That's awesome.
so like that's
what I respect.
That's what
about
John Cena does.
I agree.
like that's John Cena.
When it comes to
Yep.
kids and
Why
stuff,
is he a global appeal?
Right.
One, he's a good looking guy.
Sure.
Two,
I ain't gonna say
when
that.
he's on the screen, he gets your attention. Three, he can talk. He can fucking wrestle, believe it or not.
He can.
But,
I remember
but
they had
nobody
CM
cared
Punk.
about that.
They had CM Punk.
I don't.
They had CM Punk. Like, who do you think's most underrated wrestler? He's like, y'all know John can wrestle, right?
Sure.
Like, he's like, he's like, it wasn't just me in that feud. Like,
Sure.
John can go
But guess what? Nobody wants to see John Cena do.
wrestle.
They want to see him do this. And for you guys
And
listening, not
fucking,
watching
like-
him, you can't see me
Knuckle
shit.
shot.
Yeah. Like that's what they want to see. That's what pays his
And-
bills.
Takes his
On
wristband
fucking
off,
June
though.
27th, we're going to see it on Raw.
Again. For the 20th year in a
20th
row.
year
Right.
anniversary. He's going to get his ass up. He's probably going to get his ass beat by Theory.
Sure.
Like, he's
I
going to
think
probably
he's
get
gonna
jumped.
interrupted
He should.
and get jumped.
And Theory.
I mean, as he should.
If he should.
So yeah, it should be an interesting. I'll tell you now, I'm not looking forward to it like I normally do. I think Money in the Bank for me is going to be underwhelming. Rhea's going to lose.
I agree. With Cody being out.
Roman's going to beat fucking Riddle.
Yep.
Ronda's not going to lose to Natalia.
Nope.
The Money in the Bank matches I am interested in because I don't.
Cena's all in
Well,
it.
I'm only interested in them now because I don't know who the fuck's in
Yeah,
them.
we don't
When
know
I
how
know who
they're
the
gonna
fuck's
do
in
it,
them,
yeah.
I probably won't be interested either because I'll probably have a great idea of who's going to fucking win.
Sure.
It's like this for the people not watching live. Y'all one-on-one is probably the only thing I'm looking forward to. And
Because
I hope
what?
that shit don't
You
end in a
can't
fucking
see
tie
me.
I ain't
because of all the
John
predictable
Cena.
shit.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
it will
happen.
be pretty predictable,
Like,
I think.
it will.
But
hopefully-
maybe not though, because the men's Money in the Bank.
Well, the men's and the women's. Like the women don't have a clear-cut person.
They don't.
I do think Seth's going to win, but how do we know he's even fucking in it? I
Right.
think this is WWE does this thing where they're like, have you do a job for a while. Like your job is to get Cody as fucking popular as you can, and he nailed it.
Sure.
He fucking nailed it.
He did.
So congratulations for putting the Money in the Bank back on your ass.
Right.
Well, the thing with him being out is I feel like he was the guy to pick. And now that he's out, I'm sure WWE probably doesn't know yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like,
Well, I figure it'd
We'll
be
see.
like Lashley because he's done with fucking Omos and
Sure.
he's being
thank God.
or
But, yeah.
fucking like KO,
Yeah.
a Sami Zayn. Can you imagine a Sami? That's like my wild card, but I need to see who's in it. So this means nothing right now. But he's in the bloodline, but he has the briefcase.
Sure.
And then it's like Roman's like, what the fuck, bro?
That
Like,
could be good.
you know what I mean?
I would like
That's
that.
tension.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, it does.
you're.
I mean, it adds
I ain't gonna
story.
cash in on you.
It adds
And
storytelling.
then Roman's like, well, I ain't losing it, bitch. And he's like, oh, well, you know, then I might just let it expire. And then he teases it a few
Sure.
times and the
When
Usos
he
stop
finally
him.
does it,
It
and
adds
it's
to the
like-
weekly story.
Yeah, so,
then he eventually
I don't
cashes it.
I would like that. I mean, I fucking would love that. Yeah. Be fun.
I mean, I'd bring Brock back and put the briefcase on him. But
No,
that's just-
no,
Please don't say
no.
that name. No.
I mean, my
No.
my three options would be Brock, Goldberg, and Goldust.
I say
So-
Goldust.
If
I
history
love
has taught us anything, Brock could not even be in the match and still win the
But
goddamn
I could-
match.
If I could
it.
have,
Stick with Goldust.
if I could have the pencil, I'd have Super Crazy come in and win the fucking Money in the Bank.
Why
Anybody
not?
but
So
Brock
next week
and
I'm gonna have to
Goldberg.
like come on with some like super crazy like pictures and shit.
Say
just
what
because.
you want though. If Super Crazy did show up, people are like, what the fuck, and they'd watch. They just would. The randomness shit people also enjoy.
Hold on, let me hit a super crazy fact before we go.
He debuted in WWE on a lawnmower. He was from ECW. That's all I know about him.
I don't
10
know
weird
who
facts
that
about.
I don't even know who he is.
He was part of the what was their trio? It was a trio. It was Super Crazy. It was another guy, and it was another guy. I'm super and I'm crazy. I'm super crazy. Man, this is like 2004 SmackDown. I guess what this shit is.
All right.
Imagine that coming out.
So
You were like in grade school.
Of course I wouldn't remember.
here we go. Super. There he is. So his finishing move was the Crazy Bomb.
Nice.
He had 13 signature moves.
Jeez.
13.
Brainbuster.
On the games,
corkscrew.
you can get like 3.
Yeah, you
Fuck.
get, well now
Yes,
you get
thirty.
two.
They got 2. What the
He
fuck?
was in the Mexicals, the Los Vipers,
Mexicals.
the Lexa Invasion, and the Los Vipers Extremos.
I remember the Mexicals.
He was trained by Crazy Boy, Drake Morgan, Judas Misas, and Kiki Cruz. His theme music was Beneath My Skin by Linkin Park.
Oh shit! I know that song.
I
Holy
don't,
shit!
I have to listen.
In
I
Mexico, in ECW, he was Blue Roads by Johnny Vicious, the Slash Tones, El Guerrero Nimad, And then the Doors, Roadhouse Blues was his theme song in ECW as well. He came from All Japan, New Japan Wrestling.
Of course. He could actually wrestle.
He was in ECW. He was in Ring of Honor.
I remember the Mexicans.
4-time tag team champion. He was famous for driving a lawnmower around backstage and shit.
Yep.
Driving a lawnmower.
That's the Mexico
He was
shit.
born in 73. He spent most of his career in ECW. He's in WWE from 2005 to 2008.
Oh, so I was 1 year off. 05, not 04.
Yeah. So, yeah, there we go.
I actually remember the Mexico's debut.
There's your super crazy facts for the fucking night.
He was super and he was crazy. He was super crazy.
Yeah,
Tony
he's
Khan, don't reach out to him and try to sign him.
I mean, he might. I mean, and he'll be like, he was a WWE alumni. Anyway.
Super crazy's lives matter.
Hope you all enjoyed the show. It is tornadic evening.
We went in a fucking tornado for
Yeah.
that shit.
You're welcome.
We did. You're welcome.
And that's all we got. So join us next week right here live Wednesday night Eastern Standard Time.
Top 5 father-son duos.
Just before Father's Day. It's going to be a
Father's
good
Day is
show.
not this Sunday. It's
Next Sunday.
So that'll
We're gonna be ready to
then
go.
after that we'll do the top 5 John Cena.
Yep. So, again, hope you all enjoyed it. We are back full-time. This is our 3rd week in a row, and there will be a 4th next week. And if you didn't like it, you can fuck off. You've been listening anyway. And until next time, continue to fear regularly scheduled hostilities.